Assalamu alaikum, guys. Welcome to the Bat and Ball show. Alhamdulillah, everything is working now. As always, we've got our lovely co-host Hashim. How are you, Hashim?
Assalamu alaikum. I'm very good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Very good, very good. And thank you to everyone who has tuned into today's show. Now, today's show, we've got our guest from last week, a very special wickets coach who, unfortunately, due to technical issues, could not call in last week, but hopefully there's no problems today. So we should be receiving a call in about a couple of minutes. So while we're waiting for the call, I think we're just going to be giving an overview of what we are talking about in today's show. So the guest who we have on the show is a popular wickets coach. So that's what we're going to be discussing about wickets overall, what the aims are. And I think the best opportunity is to talk to a proper wickets coach who has been doing this for 4 or 5 years. So I think we've got him on the call. So let's speak to him. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you, coach?
I'm very good, Hasnain. How are you guys doing?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. We've got Hashim here, our co-host.
Assalamu alaikum,
Hasnain,
coach.
how are you?
Alhamdulillah, how are you?
Very good, thank you. Very good.
So alhamdulillah, there's no technical problems like last week. We couldn't get your sound on, but I think that's all sorted out for today.
Oh, no worries at all.
So, coach, if you can just start off by introducing yourself and how long you've been with wickets.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Qiyam Nawaz. Everyone knows me as Coach K. I've been with Wickets pretty much since the beginning of the new store. Must be touching 8 years now. And I remember when Wickets was just one venue. We had one bag of kit, and we only had a handful of kids who used to come to our session that used to take place. And then, alhamdulillah, blessings of Allah, we've just been growing and growing. Got a huge set of coaches now, like yourselves. Amazing set of parents, new parents coming every week. They volunteer very, just to see that community cohesion. And yes, it's just something that we're proud of, alhamdulillah, and it's something that we've been working really, really hard for. And people, without people like yourself, and you two both, and your brother as well, and your mum, we've seen clearly the benefits that the Wicked program has.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think being on a radio platform means where we can reach out to a larger audience, and I think it's quite an honor that we have you on our show today, because I think you can explain wickets better to everyone, everyone what listening to this. So if I ask you, what is the one word that describes wickets altogether? So if somebody who has never heard of wickets, what is that one word that you would describe to them that basically talks about wickets in a whole?
Togetherness. I mean, that would be the key ethos that every single time I go into a wicket session, to see the togetherness, the cohesion, the community cohesion that we have, and how it brings people together, regardless of what your background is, where you're from, where you're born, what your religion is. It's very multicultural, it's very diverse, but just to see that togetherness, how much sport brings people together, that is something that we've got to be really, really proud of as a town, and to be lucky to have the Wickets program in our Luton. It could be anywhere else. There are other Wickets programs around the UK. However, we are ahead, and we're way ahead of everyone else in terms of how many people come to our sessions. And it's not really a numbers game, but it's just how much the effort we put in. And like I said before, if it wasn't for people like yourself, you guys, you can tell your story, and I've been hearing for the last couple of weeks how much you guys have benefited from the Wickets program, and ultimately improving your cricket at the same time as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what I want to say is to all the listeners, so the whole overview of the show is we're going to be going to every single aspect of wickets. So this is the show you don't want to miss. So if you have never played cricket, if you have never been to a wicket session, if you listen to if you listen to this podcast about wickets, you will have everything sorted. So starting off, coach, how do you join wickets? Is there a membership do you have to do? What is the process?
Yeah, I'll explain. It's very straightforward. It's ultimately turning up at the as simple as that. You turn up. Most of our coaches are. There will be a coach with every single event that we have, every single session that takes place, and it's usually case just turning up. And the coaches would normally be, will make themselves, if whoever is around, whoever someone new is, because they usually come in a bit lost because there'll be so many people sometimes. But the parents normally just go straight over to a coach or senior coach at the time, or the lead coach who will be running the session, or an assistant coach who will be there. With plethora of parents as well. They usually get signposted towards the main coach. And the coaches take some details from parents. Usually it's a mobile number, something, just any form of contact details. And then that's it. That's then the coach's job to then speak to the parent afterwards, just take some details, health and safety issues, contact names and numbers and bits and pieces like that. And that's it. It's pretty straightforward. And off they go into, and they leave the child there. Most of the parents stay, hang around. They volunteer a lot. As you know yourself, Hasnain and Hashim, both of you, helpful to kind of with the structure of the whole session that takes place. We usually start off with a topic of the day.
Yeah.
That for me is the most important thing of the whole program. Which is something which a lot of parents give us great feedback on. And it's usually said the parent and the children look forward to the cricket, of course, but it's what the main topic of the day that we talk about. And there are a number of different topics that we talk about that reflect current issues that are going on. But we don't get really political. We don't get any issues like that. But it's mainly something that, depending on the age demographic of who we have, we can then talk upon important subjects like respect, communication, teamwork, racism, diversity, anti-bullying. So again, every week, depending on if there's a theme of the week, we'll talk about an important subject. But in terms of, like I said before, to get yourself registered, come to any session. They're all free sessions. Turn up, and then the coach will take some details, and usually that's it. Pretty straightforward like that.
So in each session, apart from playing cricket, all the children they learn about something. As you said, one topic could be about cyberbullying, one topic could be about hygiene, respect. So there's cricket aspect of it, and there's a bit of a learning aspect. So how can you say, how does that benefit the session?
For me, the main thing, how you see how it benefits is the set of children who will be there from young age, from the age of 8 onwards. They will listen to the topic or subject that we talk about, and then we will start talking about the topic, like you said, cyberbullying, or we'll talk about health and personal hygiene, and it's just something small, 5-minute talk, and then they go into the cricket. But then at the end of the session, we'll then do a recap on not just the cricket, what they might have learned in cricket, but what the actual topic of the day. And you'll be surprised how many kids put their hands up and answer the question and say, yeah, coach, today was about personal hygiene. And we'll say, what exactly about personal hygiene was it? And then can you see them? I can see how they both correlate. So
Yes.
If there wasn't that enjoyment element of the cricket, you might not necessarily have someone who would go away and understand or remember what coach was talking about. So we're kind of having to work together. And the fact that most kids, even though they've been running around, they still manage to put their hand up at the end and say, coach, yeah, today you talked about racism. And we talked about diversity. We talked about community cohesion. We talked about respecting parents, teamwork, whatever the ethos is or what the theme is for that day. They can recall that. So that just shows you how important both and how they both are entwined together.
So coach, we've got a question from Hashim.
Coach, what opportunities or doorways or platforms do you think wickets can open to the older kids? What do you think they could go ahead and progress through wickets?
See, that's a great question, Hashim. And you two are living proof of that. And I'm going to pick on you two because if you remember rightly, correctly, even before you joined Wickets, if I was to say in about 4 or 5 years' time, you'll be running your own radio show and live in Luton, you probably would have looked at me and said, coach has gone mad. And the fact that you two are sitting here today, and you guys have said this before, and I'm going to reiterate this and just reconfirm this, solidify this even more, to say, listen, if it wasn't for the Wicked program, you two wouldn't be there today.
Absolutely.
And that's something immensely proud you've got to be of it. So you're the proof of the Wicked project working. You know, how much confidence you will get from this, how much you'll understand, you're making friends more, your confidence, like I said, improving. Just a whole plethora of things that just both of you have improved on, increased, you know, your knowledge of cricket, your knowledge of just everything really that I can think of. All these dimensions that you guys have got a lot more better in. So in terms of, you know, you two are my proof.
Yeah, I'd like to add on to that. Sorry to cut you off. So when I joined Wickets 5 years ago, I was in year 11. So I was in, I think, year 10 or year 11. I was still in high school, and I remember that first session, my mom had to force me to go there because I was actually shy. I didn't know anyone in Wickets. I didn't know who the coaches would be, or what the session is going to be like. So I was really shy. But then after the first session was complete, I actually kind of enjoyed it. So I wanted to go next week because the sessions only happen once a week. So next week when I would go, I would start to talk to a few people, and then a couple of weeks later, I've made friends with everyone from my club, and that's when I started speaking to you, Coach K. You know, getting to know you because before that I didn't really know anyone else outside my school. Forget about cricket or something. I did not know anyone. So I think Wickets really, it boosts your confidence, as you just said, and it removes the social anxiety that you have. So when you go to different Wicket sessions, you meet with different people. You see, when you meet with coaches, they're just like your teachers. So I think that's one thing Wickets does really well.
Absolutely. No, look, it's so amazing to hear you said, Hashim and Hasnain, both of you. You genuinely have shown what your role model for the other youngsters who are starting, and we'll be able to point to you two and say, look, Hasnain and Hashim, and how well you guys have improved yourselves, and how the confidence that when it comes to speaking to others, making friends, ultimately, it comes to your family life as well, your home life. It all revolves together, and the fact that Wickets, you can point to Wickets and say, there you go. Now, I was there from the very first session. I've seen you grow up and improve yourself with people going forward. But even I was to take myself out and put another coach in, it would have the same effect. That's the advantage that we have those professional coaches in place, and the training that we have, the life experiences that we have, and the genuine love for the project, and the people who come to the session. That we have some people sometimes turn up once and might not come again for a year, but then they will remember that very first session. Say, Coach, we've just been really busy, haven't been able to turn up. But I remember that first session a year ago. It was amazing. That's why we're back again. Then we have some people like yourself who turn up one session and then will not miss one for 5 years.
Absolutely.
So, but again, it's that impression that we leave. It's, the open welcomeness that we have, and so that's something which it's immensely proud. We're really proud.
Coach, how do you think Wickets has impacted or helped your own life through Wickets?
Amazing question. Thank you, Hashim. Listen, I wouldn't be where I am today now without the Wickets project. It's improved me as a father. It's improved me as a husband. It's made me a better husband. It's made me a better father. It's made me a better coach, and just basically a human being, I'd say. It's just I've learned a lot of things from this project. I was thrown straight into as a coach. I came as a volunteer initially. So very similar to your stories, guys. I was a little bit older than you at the time.
Yeah.
But again, I came in, didn't really know what to expect. Volunteered, taught my children, and then I think the very next week, I was back, and I just enjoyed that element of seeing the kids playing, my kids enjoying it. And then I was offered a chance to become a volunteer coach and I was volunteer as a coach for about a good 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And just because you saw the effect that it had, and being born and bred in Luton, seeing that we never used to have that opportunity growing up. There wasn't anything like this. That I had great parents, had great teachers growing up in my high school or primary school as well. It was great. But to have something outside of the atmosphere where you're comfortable in, as in, somewhere to go just to have a couple of hours to play a bit of cricket, have a great chat with a coach, something to learn from as well, someone to learn from. We never had that growing up. So I wanted to make sure that the youngsters, the younger generation had something that I didn't have growing up. And that's why I would always say that the Wickets project was the forefront of being what I am today.
So, coach, regarding cricket, so obviously we go to wicket sessions because I think majority of the young people that come to the sessions, they sometimes come because their friends go there. That's another good positive way, and they make new friends. But some people also come because they want to improve their game. What is that one piece of advice you would give to someone when they come to a wicket session? How can they utilize that session to the full advantage? How can they learn new things in that 2 hour wicket session?
Yep. Great question again. I listen to the coaches.
Yeah.
I'd say and take as much on board as you can. The coaches are there not to, like I said, to talk about different topics that we do, but ultimately we're cricket coaches. So we are ultimately going to be teaching you to improve your cricket. As little as, even if it's the smallest amount or a massive improvement, that small amount of change will make a big difference. So something I would do, the piece of advice I give to everyone is listen to what the coaches have to say.
Seeing the rapid progress in more and more people coming in wickets, did you ever think when you first started this whole project that wickets would be such a great success all over Luton and it would create this much of an impact on cricket community?
That's the dream. That was the dream, to see more and more kids utilizing the wickets program. Again, did I see that many children coming? Honestly, probably not as much as come up now. I mean, alhamdulillah, it's just to see the blessings that, so many youngsters are utilizing it, and parents are realizing how much of a difference it actually impacts in their lives as well. Like you said, some parents come and use it for themselves. They have let their parents talk going on the side. It's great to see the parents come together. That might be the only time in the week that they talk to each other.
Yeah.
There's a lot of youngsters who, again, they might not all go to the same school.
Yeah.
So they use that Wickets program to come and mingle with new friends there. So again, just to see what the Wickets program is doing, it's amazing. And like I said, it just long may it continue, long may it just grow and grow.
Yeah, coach, one other thing I've noticed is that especially when parents come in, I think I've not seen a single parent who has not participated in the activity itself. So whenever there's like a game going on or anything going on, all the parents, I think Hashim would agree with me as well, that even he's seen, I think you've obviously seen as well, that all the parents are actively engaged. So they are, encouraging their children. I think a session I went to on Thursday, I'm not going to name who the parent was, but I think we discussed it in the session. So if anyone listening has been attended the Queen Elizabeth session, one of the parents showed a bit of sportsman spirit. I think coach will remember as well. So I think you learn a lot from your parents as well. And seeing your most parents, sometimes they come home late from work and they probably come to a wicket session with you. And seeing your parents play cricket, it's like the best feeling, because normally
it's amazing. Like you said, it's beautiful because seeing the parents involved. But I'll be honest with you, there are a few parents who will run away.
Yeah,
you try to sneak out of the session because they know the coaches are gonna try to get them involved.
Yeah.
So there are a few who just kind of like sneak out of the hall or just stand around the side and try not to get noticed. But you're absolutely right. It's just great to see the parents. They really want to get involved. They'll come and drop feed the ball, or they'll stand as a wicket keeper. They'll be the extra fielder. And like you rightly said, they were a great example of the spirit of cricket, what cricket is all about. Gave himself out. Said, look, I was out. I didn't make it in time. Didn't get into the crease in time, and again, I had to call that parent over and just to see how much of a role model element this Wickets project is. It wasn't just Coach K talking and talking. This was a parent who'd come, drop the children off, played a little bit, just to get involved a little bit, just to get the kids involved, because it just boosts everyone else just to see a parent involved. Got run out. could have been anyone else would have said it wasn't. But Ken put his hands up and said, you know what, I was out. I had to call a parent. I would say, look at this. Look at the example that you're leading. In front of
Absolutely,
everything.
absolutely.
And like you said, for you to mention that as well a few days later, it means that it's still on the back of your mind. You thought about it, and you realize the importance of that. And you'd hope next week the same children will talk about it and say, do you want, coach, we remember what happened last week. So again, it's such a great environment to be around. Whenever you see something that's happened, a positive thing that's happened, you should mention that. And just kind of solidify that by talking about it at the end as well.
If I had a note to say, I think probably everyone in that session remembers that, because you mentioned it right at the end as well. And I think that boy's father will consider his father as a hero, because he's going to remember that coach complimented my father because he showed, because it wasn't a small thing that his father had done. I think even if he had not said it, it wouldn't have mattered. But he said, no, out means out. It doesn't matter. Even if we're playing friendly, it shows that it sets the right example. And one more thing I would like to add is that no matter, if it's a game you're playing at the end, I've never seen in any wicket session someone feeling upset. I've seen everyone smiling, laughing, going crazy. So that shows that wickets has something that not any other social club might have, because I've seen it doesn't really matter if if you're a girl or boy, how good you are. I haven't seen anyone judging someone based on their skill. I think I remember, I think last year or something, I had not played cricket for a long time, and I was bowling in the nets, and I think I kept bowling full tosses, and another guy next to me, couple is younger than me, he was giving me tips on how I can improve myself, and I found that really touching, because he didn't really have to help me, because I think he could have just continued bowling as he was. And I think you've probably seen that as well. Not just coaches encouraging the players are encouraging their fellow players as well. So that's one thing Wickets does really well. There's no judging. You don't say to someone, I've never seen anyone in Wickets making fun of someone based on how good they know cricket. I think everyone is equal.
It's amazing, isn't it? Look at that. I was going to mention that. I do remember that happening, actually, and you coming to me afterwards. And just to see, that's what Wickets is. That's the whole cohesion. Doesn't matter if someone's older than you, younger than you. If there's youngsters there, olders there, parents there, anyone just giving their bit of feedback to say, look, I tell you what, this is maybe try to do this, that might help you improve. Let's try to do this, because coaches are there obviously to help as much as they can, but there are, guess what, the participants are there. You guys are there to help each other, and guess what, you guys will take away, and you're still remembering that youngster who will talk to you about improving and mention, hey, try to do this, maybe try to do this to improve a bit of bowling. He or she will take that away and say, you know what, I helped someone today. That will improve their confidence.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow they want to become a future coach, or not. Even if it doesn't necessarily have to be a cricket coach. It could be in their form of life, whatever they're doing in terms of what this life choices they make going forward. They will improve from what they've taken away from the Wickets program. So it's just a great program to be part of.
Coach, what made you interested in coaching people for cricket, or just your love for the cricket? What interested you in cricket?
Cricket is something that I followed since I was a young age. One of a number of sports. I was a keen footballer growing up. I loved my rugby.
Yeah.
But cricket, coming from a Pakistani background,
Yeah.
it was something that was embedded in you growing up. Family, uncles, aunties, everyone would seem to talk about it. So cricket was always there in the background, always, in your mind. But in terms of the coaching, it was, I think, again, the very first session or second session I turned up, and it was just similar, like the story that Hasnain just mentioned. I just gave a little bit of feedback to one of the participants, and you saw that participant do that difference. I think it was delivering playing a shot or bowling.
Yeah.
And it was something that child took that away, and I said, wow, I've made a difference. Someone's listened. And that child came and gave me a high five and said, you are, coach. At the time, I wasn't an official coach, but just thank you so much, sir. And I said, wow, that's amazing, just to see that I've made a difference. And then I would do that the second time, and then the third time, and then all of a sudden you've got a group of like 10 kids along with the coach, and as I was a parent as well, just helping out.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And then the lead coach at the time, the person who I'd say is the godfather of the Wickets project, Amran Malik.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. He sort of looked at that and said, look, let's get you involved.
Yeah.
And then it just grew from there. And now, alhamdulillah, I'm an official level 2 ECB coach. I'm an ECB coach developer, which means I train coaches.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So, which is great just to see. And I know, Hasnain, we did your level 1 only recently as well, didn't we?
Yes, yes.
So I'm now an ECB coach developer. So I coach coaches. And it's just amazing to see that there is very few ethnic coach developers around this part of the UK. And again, it's just something to be immensely proud of. And would it have happened without a wicket? Of course not.
No.
It all stems down from a love of coaching.
Sorry to cut you off, Coach. We've got
yeah.
10 seconds till our ad break. So we will continue
sure.
our conversation after the ad break. And we will see you guys soon. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere. Keep listening on Inspire FM.
This program will continue after the break. Continue listening to Inspire FM. Inspire FM.
Inspire 105.1 FM.
I'm Aaron, creative producer of Ricky's Cycle, a interactive children's live show for children.
And I'm Victoria, and I'm part of the cast of Ricky's Cycle, and you are listening to Inspire FM on 105.1.
You don't have to go to Pakistan to enjoy the finest Asian food. Enjoy a great choice of authentic cuisine at Little Lahore Tandoori Restaurant and Takeaway in Dunstable. With mouth-watering chicken, lamb, veg and fish dishes, Chersi Karahi, Nihari, mixed grill, platters and for so much more, the Little Lahore Restaurant also has a separate hall for private parties for up to 50 people at 2 Nicholas Way, LU6 1TD. Or order via Deliveroo, Uber Eats or Just Eat. We also provide external catering. For more information, call 01582 353 983. That's Little Lahore for the finest Pakistani cuisine.
Attention all electricians, builders and DIY enthusiasts. Capital Electrical Wholesalers are now open in Luton. It's a fully stocked branch with experienced staff on hand to help with all your electrical needs. With branches also in Greenford, Tottenham, Richmond and Ashton. Capital Electrical Wholesalers only stock the biggest names, including JCC, Saxby, Knightsbridge, Hamilton, MK, Wilex, Hager, Aco Smoke Alarms and many more. That's Capital Electrical at Unit M, Kingsway Industrial Estate. Call 01582 801122.
None of you will enter paradise unless you have faith, and none of you will truly have faith unless you love each other. Reported by Tirmidhi and Muslim.
For expert legal advice and support, talk with Luton's leading solicitors, Hannah Solicitors. We specialise in conveyancing, wills and probate, family law, immigration and personal injury, legal matters that matter to you. Our experienced legal team are here to help you through every step of the way. Call 01582 329 069. That's 01582 329 069 or click on hannahsolicitors.co.uk. Hannah Solicitors, professional advice with a tailored approach.
Biscard Pharmacy, your one-stop health and beauty pharmacy in Luton. Stockist of over 8,000 health and beauty products. At Biscard Pharmacy, we offer a range of services, including health advice and repeat prescriptions for collection and delivery to your home. We also offer a Hajj and Umrah vaccination. Come in and see us and ask about our stop smoking service. We're open 7 days a week till late, including bank holidays. Biscard Pharmacy, 157A Biscard Road, Luton. Call 457709.
Losing a loved one, especially a mother or a father, could mean losing access to safety, education and shelter. We here at Crisis Aid believe that children in the world deserve a better chance at life. Your small donation can influence a big change. Donate today. www.crisisaid.org.uk/orphan fund or call our donations line 0333 305 5000.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Mariam. This is Anisa. And this is Sonia. And we are Sisters Speak. Sisters Speak is a weekly discussion program where us girls discuss a variety of topics. Just to give a few, our topics range from politics and education to social media and identity. So please join the discussion by tuning in to Sisters Speak. Tune in on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. on Inspire 105.1 FM. And also find us on Instagram at Sisters Speak.
From the studios of Inspire FM, the time is now 6:30.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to the Bat and Ball show. We've got the second half. We're just waiting for our lovely coach to call in again. So, in the first half, we discussed an introduction about wickets. Coach Khayyam, he introduced himself and all about wickets. So, we are going to be answering his call now. Assalamu alaikum, coach. Hello. Walaikum salam, walaikum salam. Thank you so much, coach, for having you on the second half. So I was just talking to the audience, like in the first half, we discussed about wickets, about you. Now in the second half of the show, we are just going to be discussing pathways that wickets can, potentially lead you into. So I think if we start about coaching, how can you, become a coach just like you did? What are the steps that are needed?
One of the advantages that Wickets provides is we provide that platform for future coaches. So, and having a homegrown, coach developer, like myself, and Coach Naman, who's now the senior development officer for Wickets in Luton. We've got 2 in-house people who can get you qualified, either as a support level, a level 1, or level 2. And the advantages that we have is there are courses now running throughout the year, pre-season as well, and during the season of cricket. So that's something which Wickets can either partly fund, fully fund, and if it's something that someone's really interested to do themselves, they can fully fund it if they wanted to themselves. So it's about getting us onto the coaching pathway.
And when you become a wickets coach, what is that one key, what can I say? What is that key word that defines a wickets coach?
Oh, wow. So many. I would say the being friendly.
Friendly.
Yeah, the friendliness, because you will meet so many different people, youngsters, parents. And so that friendly, smiley face that you show and the openness that you have, the willingness to listen and to answer questions, that is what main key part of being a successful wickets coach, I would definitely say, is being the friendly face, being the face of that wicket session, or being the face of the wickets program, or a number of faces, as we have around Luton, and as you two are our future coaches as well going forward. So, you two, more than happy in terms of tomorrow leading a session, but being that smiley face. Will that parent, will that child remember that person who's the lead coach on that wicket session? So I'd definitely say the word friendly would be the most important.
Coach, what's your most memorable moment as a coach? Like something that you really enjoyed, or your most memorable moment as a coach?
I tell you what, you throw me on the spot here.
There must be many memorable moments.
There's so many memorable moments, from helping someone bowl for the first time to connecting the bat with ball for the first time, and just seeing that smile on their face. I've seen that a number of times. That creates the biggest smile on my face.
Sure. I think I have got a personal experience of mine. So a few days ago, I think Coach probably remember, you told me to coach this young man. I'm not going to mention his name. And I was with him last week as well. We were working on getting his line and length right, because he was brand new to the game, never played cricket before. And I remember last week, I did a bit of a drill with him where I had 2 cones placed at one side of the hole, and I told him to keep his arm straight, look between the cones, and deliver the ball. Initially, he couldn't get it. He couldn't, get the ball to go in between the cones. He was struggling a bit. And then I kept on explaining to him. We kept on practicing. And yesterday, when I saw him, he was far better than what he was last week. And sometimes, even if he did slip, I would encourage him to keep going, and I would ask him questions. And I think that's the first time in my life where I've actually taught someone. I've actually seen someone improve by the way I've taught them. And I think that is one thing that, as Coach just said, seeing someone improve. It could be the smallest thing, teaching someone how to catch. I'm sure Hashim has probably been experienced. He's been a coach as well, so he's probably dealt with people that are struggling to start off with. but just seeing small steps to see someone develop, and it's absolutely
I'm going to
great.
ask you a question now. How did that make you feel?
Yeah, it made me. I was really happy because I was placing myself in his perspective. So if I remember I explained to him, we did loads of different drills, and every time I saw him that he bowled well, I would encourage him. And when he slipped, I was not upset. I was not 100%. I was never upset. I just encouraged him to keep on going, and I think the encouragement made him go even better. So now I think in probably like a month's time, he's probably going to be bowling pretty quick now. He's going to get his line and length accurate, and I'm sure coach knows who I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. But you see that you times that by 1,000, and that's the number of children. I've dealt with so many children now for over a number of years.
Yeah.
But that's why I can't. For me, I won't be able to pinpoint the one moment because there are so many. The Wickets program and being a coach, senior lead coach, I can produce that, try to produce that. That's the key word. But that small smile, that little bit of happiness that young boy or girl will take away, and a little bit of smile for me again now. Hoping future coaches become a level 1 or help them qualify become a level 2. Again, that just gives me happiness as well to say, what, someone who might have struggled, take the jump from being a level 1 coach to a level 2, might have struggled, but then I've gone in there and just helped them, given a few pointers, just give them. So again, being able to work with grassroots and all the way up to trying to help coaches become coaches or become better coaches, I've got a massive spectrum and I can pick things out and a number of those. But the main thing is putting a smile on someone's face.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's a coach wanting to become a level 1 to a level 2 or just wanting to become a coach or just to become a volunteer to see that bit of improvement that they are making. Or if it's a youngster picking up the ball for the first time and hit the stump. Or even bowling correctly, or just making connection with the ball and the bat. It's just smallest things, just to see that smile on their face. Yeah, so there are so many happy moments that I can recall.
So, coach, it's a privilege to have you on the show, and I've got probably the biggest question of the day of the show so far. So, this is my personal experience. So, I think you probably remember when I started off cricket, especially with wickets. I was pretty bad. I was actually the worst out of everyone, and I had this very bad habit that I would give up really easily. And if for example, if I'm batting in the nets, if the ball hits me, I would give up. I would not want to go forward. How can you, as a coach, encourage someone who is struggling in cricket? How can you, get them better? How can you, encourage them to keep going?
What great! And I remember a number of occasions when you would say, "Coach, I can't do this. I don't want to do this."
Yeah.
And if you remember what I would do, I'd take that time to sit with you and just to ask you just go over a few questions. Say, look, what can you do to improve? What can I do to help you? Just to then even try to get some answers from you and then work out what I can do to help. Even if that means improving your confidence, helping you. And if you say, Coach, I'm not confident, and I'll be like, what can I do then to help improve your confidence? If that means taking a step back and maybe let's working on the bowling again, slow it down a bit, let's try to hit in the nets, maybe work a little bit with a soft wind ball. So as a coach, there's so many different things that you look at, but main thing will be sitting down with you first, taking that time just to talk to you, speaking, getting that coaching network to give us the help to try to make you improve. What we can do trying to make you improve, but ultimately improve your confidence for you to put a smile in your face. Because the moment your smile will come on that face, we know you'd naturally improve your bowling. It would also happen with your batting as well. And ultimately the rest of cricket will fall into place as well. So for me, it was always, how do I get that smile on my face?
Coach, in the next 10-15 years, where do you see the future of cricket in Luton and wickets in general in the next 10-15 years?
Hopefully it will be doubling every year.
Yeah.
Hopefully the number of participants taking place, more and more people coming through. The grassroots being stronger as it is. It's just been growing and growing. Luton itself has got such a huge cricketing following.
Yeah.
That we're only expecting it to go in one direction, and that's up.
Yeah.
10, 15 years, I'm hoping that most of the England team will be players made up of from Luton.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So that that's something. That's what. But ultimately, those players playing will be out. Will be taking away great lessons. Those players who are from now into 10, 15 years time will look back and think, I tell you what, that good-looking coach K, I wonder if he's still around. He helped me so much growing up, and the other coaches as well that are of a great coaching network, which you obviously are part of. Just to see whether or not they will look back and say, you know what, those coaches helped us going forward. Tell you what, we're now going to do the same. We're going to help our youngsters and the new generations coming through as well. So it's kind of like a cycle. These youngsters like yourselves are going to become the coaches who will help the next younger generation, and those youngsters will do exactly the same. So hopefully it's a cycle. So hopefully, you guys will be helping out my kids, and my kids will then grow up and helping out your kids. So it's just like a cycle, and that's what I see Wicked do.
Absolutely. So, coach, if we move on to the older kids who are, who are they're mashallah talented, they want to progress further into the game, maybe go into county, club cricket. How does Wickets help with that? So, what is the the steps that are needed?
Yeah, Wickets will obviously help, like we said previously, about looking at becoming potential future coaches, which is obviously one avenue. Our coaches are quite very talented, where we're able to not just cricket coaches, but multi-sport coaches as well. So we help with hat camps around the school. We help with a number of Chance to Shine projects. We have a number of different performance programs as well that I'm part of as well, where we've helped youngsters to just improve on their cricket, wanting to go into county cricket. So I'm part of an All Alliance cricket at the moment, where we've got sessions that take place on the weekends, and we've helped a number of youngsters improving their cricket from a performance base. Those kids will then ultimately want to become going to county age groups. We've got part of our Hot Shot Park Cricket East county age group setups, and part of the MCC county age group setups as well. So if youngsters want to get involved with that, we have a number of different options for boys and girls. My daughter's part of the MCC setup as well, so that's something which she's immensely proud of, so she's going to be doing that going forward. We have women and girls only wicket sessions. So we have a number of different options that youngsters can take up. Ultimately, we speak to the parents as well. As you two both know, part of the wickets, every summer we do residential trips away.
Yes.
So, and you guys were part of successful teams last year, if you remember, we took away the trophy at the end of it as well.
Yeah,
so
that was a great feeling.
It was amazing, wasn't it? Yeah. And it just, it comes to just show what we're all about and how we can help you improve. So there are a number of different options available. What I would always say is speak to the parents to speak to the coaches at each of the sessions. And then the coaches can then make the best decisions or speak to the parents afterwards and discuss what we can do and what different options are available.
As you just mentioned, the Malvern, I think, trip it was called, the one we went to in August. What a wonderful residential trip. I think the only thing I enjoyed was the food there. The food was amazing there. I remember the first day we went there was fish and chips, and I didn't have, and I got reminded of my high school, dinner. It was absolutely amazing. The feeling of, and the best thing about the trip was it wasn't just us there. It was people from Wickets, I think Scotland, all over the UK.
Yeah.
Wickets.
So the other Wickets programs, weren't they? They were all over the UK. They all came together. There were 4 different residentials that took place, and under 15 boys, over 15 boys. There was a girls only. And then we had another 4th one for our performance cricketers up in Arundel Castle, and they took place throughout the summer. And as you know, I went with you guys then as the over 15s, and we did really well. Yeah, our team, our Wicked Luton team, won the final game.
Yes.
We took away the trophy. I think you were given a bat as well, wasn't it?
Hashim was given a bat.
Yeah, I was gifted a bat, yeah.
Yeah, gifted a bat as well for everything that you helped part of as well. So again, just that cohesiveness wasn't just part of the Wicked Luton. It was working together as well with other programs, as in, around Luton to Wicked. You're right, it was Wickets Edinburgh, Wickets Glasgow, Lancashire, Southampton. So again, there's another one taking place next week. I think it was on the 19th. We've been invited down by Wickets Southampton to play against other Wickets programs as well. So it's a similar one, a smaller one, it's not a 4-day one that we did previously. And guess what? The main thing is, and there's something that I haven't mentioned, everything is free.
Yeah.
Not once, I don't think you'll remember that we've ever asked for a single pound. Or, all we've ever asked from parents is their time.
Yeah.
And the support in bringing the children to the sessions and, help out as well, volunteer, and just build that cohesiveness, that community cohesion, the togetherness that Wickets is all about.
As per speaking trips, I remember clearly went to the Malvern trip and also the Arundel one. And what I really liked about the trip was the togetherness and the kind of family kind of feeling, because you're not only speaking with your Luton coaches or your Luton fellow cricketers, but you're also speaking to people from Scotland, you're speaking to people from Southampton and Lancashire, and just making new friends from different places, which I feel like was a kind of different experience for me. As you know, through cricket, I've never really spoken to anyone from different places, but this was all bringing the whole cricket community as one together and playing together, which I really liked.
And if you remember, Hashim, we also, and Hasnain as well, we had a number of different workshops at those residentials.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we do the same thing in Luton, Wickets Luton as well, where we'll have different workshops that take place.
Sometimes we have different speakers coming in, giving a little bit of a talk.
Yeah, so we had the Pakistan strength and conditioning, the ex-Pakistan strength and conditioning coach come to our session on Wednesday last week. He gave a little talk. At Denby. Yeah. We have people from the NHS. We had someone from GamCare talking about gambling and addiction.
Okay.
So we have a number of different speakers who come, give their time, because they believe in the project as well. So,
Absolutely.
It's all right listening to Coach K again and again, or a number of different coaches that we have. Sometimes it's nice coming from someone from the NHS. We have our regulars who come from the Bedfordshire Police, good old Danny and Omar, who always come down. All is amazing. They're giving their time to Luton, to Wickets Luton projects, talking about obeying the law, why it's important to listen. So it's just an amazing project to be part of. And like I said, for you to mention those workshops that you were part of in the residentials in the summer, like you said, it's something different. And the togetherness is amazing.
Yeah.
So I think we've got a couple of minutes, 5 minutes left. So I think the best way to wrap this podcast is by a few, bits of advice, motivational advice that coach you would like to give to all the listeners, if no matter where they are in life, whether it's a cricket or an academic life, how can they, stay positive, always keep smiling. What will your final piece of advice be for today?
I always go with the ethos of positive mental attitude. Always stay positive.
Yeah.
If something's not working for you or working out for you, always try to put a smile on your face. Think of the smallest details. It'd be a football match, be it a cricket game, be it something that you're looking forward to at school, something that your parents are cooking for you in the evening, something that you're looking forward to meeting your friend tomorrow. The smallest of things that you can put in the forefront and you can put a smile on your face. That will ultimately lead to more positive thoughts. And that, therefore, could be something simple as, like we mentioned before, it could be a Wickets event that's turning, or a session that you're going looking forward to coming next week. It could be smallest things of telling Coach K what you did, or any of the coaches what you did at school the previous week, what you've done to improve your cricket between now and next week's session. So always think the positive thing is something that's going to put a smile on your face.
Absolutely, that is probably the best piece of advice. Always stay positive, because sometimes in sessions, I think I've personally seen myself, if I probably get out, I normally get upset about it, but if I just stay positive and think, why did I get out, what could I do to improve myself? And I think I've seen that in pretty much every wicket session. I think Hashim, you probably seen as well, that all the coaches are constantly giving feedback. It's not just that you go in the nets, you get out, you bat for 10 minutes, come out, and you don't speak to a coach. No, if you get out, the coach will tell you what to do, and then you could implement that. So I think the whole atmosphere of Wickets is just like a family coming together. I don't see Wickets, as just a session. I see Wickets as a opportunity where you meet your family members and you play cricket, and then you talk about a specific topic. So I think that's how you should see a wicket session. Because if you just see it as a normal session, sometimes if you're probably a bit lazy, you're probably watching TV, you're watching a movie, playing video games, and you say, "Oh my God, I have to go to a wicket session now." It's literally 5 minutes away, and you make excuses to yourself. "Nah, it's cold. I don't want to go." But if you say to yourself, "This is a family event. I don't want to miss it because my family members are going to be there. The coach is going to be there." So that's the one thing I would say to everyone, is to think of wickets as meeting your family. So if your family says to you, we have a family dinner at 6 p.m., you wouldn't say no to them. You would go. You would be there 10 minutes early. Treat wickets. Treat wickets the same thing. Priority.
Definitely. If I could just mention before I go then, how to get involved with wickets in terms of how to find us. We're on all social media.
Yeah.
So it's wickets, so like a cricket wicket with a Z at the end, Luton. If you can Google it, you'll find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, number of different. I won't bore you now with the times and dates, but you'll be able to find it online. And like I said, the main thing is it's free.
Yeah.
Come, no equipment necessary, just the support of the parents. And you guys have said so much today in terms of how much wickets has helped you two both. And there's so much more to come in the future. So I'd say just keep watch this space, and just keep helping.
And if you don't have the equipment, if you don't have like a bat, a ball, or the proper hardball kit, do you provide?
Yeah, everything's provided at the session. We have free equipment at the session, so you don't have to necessarily turn up with your equipment. We have bats, balls, helmets, pads, ball, everything, whatever you might require to play for that.
And probably the best bit is for all ages. So no matter if your siblings are young, old, however, you could just turn up to a wicket session. It will be absolutely fine.
Absolutely. I have youngsters, very, very young turn up. I do not give them a bat and ball. They go play with their siblings in the corner of the hall, and they just enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
So it's a safe, fun environment as well. And you know what? It's inclusive. So it doesn't matter your age. I have women and girls sessions just to provide that safe environment where there's one to no female session. Fair enough. We have that as well. We have all-inclusive sessions as well. So if we want to have that bit of fun, activity, and the main thing is getting kids off the sofas, getting them off the tabs, getting off the laptops, the iPads, away from the computer systems of the computer games. It's just getting them active and making it fun, hopefully put a smile on their face.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Coach, for your time. We've just got a couple of minutes left, but I think we won't take any more of your time. I think me and Hashim will finish the show from here. But thank you so much for your time on the show, and I think a lot of the viewers have learned a lot about wickets, and inshallah, the progress of wickets will increase by 100 times more. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me both.
No worries. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz. So that was Coach Khayyam from the Wickets program in Luton, and I hope you guys enjoyed the session. Hashim, how did you find the talk with him?
I thought the talk was very motivating and confident, as you get to learn a lot of not only cricket skills but life skills, and it's a very nice talk and very nice podcast.
So quickly to sum everything up, I think the most important thing you want to know is when do the wicket sessions happen. So Monday there is a Stockwood session at Stockwood High School in Farley Hill from 7 to 9 p.m. 7 to 8 is softball, 9 to 10 is 8 to 9 is hardball. Tuesdays there's a session at Chorney Boys, I believe.
Yeah.
Stonygate Road. Wednesdays it's at Denby from 6 to 8. Sorry guys, I can't remember the time on the top of my head. 6 to 8 at Denby. Thursdays is at Queen Elizabeth School or Ashcroft High School from 6 to 8. So these are the main wicket sessions. As coach says, there's no need for hardball. There's no need for any equipment. You don't have to have pads, but if you do, that's great. But if you don't, they will provide you with everything. So I think the overall message that we would like you to go off today with is, as coach said, stay positive. Any situation happens in your life, just stay positive. Inshallah, everything will be fine. Hashim, any last words before we end the show?
I mean, just keep coming to wickets and, just keep playing the sport of cricket. Keep your motivation up and don't give up.
Don't give up. Don't give up. So me and Hashim, as I said, were wickets participants for 4 or 5 years, and alhamdulillah, it's changed our lives. Very great, because the amount of confidence we have now to do a radio show like this. I mean, if you asked me, would you do a radio show? I would probably say no 5 years ago. But now, alhamdulillah, it's working out absolutely fine. Thank you for listening to the Bat and Ball show on Inspire FM. Inshallah, next week, Sundays, 6 to 7 p.m. We will see you then. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Hasnain.
My name is Hashim.
And we are signing out. Thank you, guys.